New to the QuoteSoft Duct 4.09 program is the ability to export and import a takeoff from one Duct system to another. To import a Duct takeoff, simply select the job in the list and go to the menu above and click Export Active Job. Once you choose the location and you hit Save, it will take all of the job information and put it in one single file, which is a zip file. For this example, we will re-import that exported job into the same Duct system. Click on a new folder, and you're ready to import the takeoff. Click the Import Takeoff button atop in the ribbon menu, and navigate to the file by clicking the Browse button. Once you have the file selected, hit Open, and the program will read the inside of the file to tell you how many items were exported and are contained in that zip file. Next, we will be going to the item filter stage. Click the Next Stage button at the bottom, and it will show us a list of items that are in this exported file. On this screen, we can use the filter options at the top so that it only imports what is left visible on the screen. For example, if all we wanted to import was the duct, we would go to the Import Item column, click on the filter at the top, and come down and select the word duct. What we are left with is only the duct that was exported in that file. This will then import only those items. To clear the filter, go back to the top and click Non-Blanks, and it will show all items. For this example, we'll import everything. Click the Next Stage button at the bottom. The next stage shown is the pressure file mapping. The column on the left says Map From. This is the pressure file that was used within the exported job. Click the Setup and the pressure file you wish to map it to. Be sure and do this for rectangular, the round, and your catalog items. The pressure files will need to be mapped in order to get the proper duct construction standards on the items that are being imported. Once you have everything mapped, click the Next Stage button at the bottom, or click the Next Stage in the menu on the left. The catalog mapping stage will show you the items that are in the exported file that are from the catalog. You'll need to select those items and then map them to items in your catalog. Some of the items you can see are already mapped, as in the Map To column already has information in it. As you go through and import files, we'll save the mapping so that those items will automatically be matched up when you bring them up. To start off with, we'll use two-cone diffuser and go to the Air Devices catalog, diffusers, two-cone diffuser, and then we need to pick the diameter. We can see the diameter was 10 inch on the exported file. I'll pick 10 inch in my catalog. Do the same for the 8 inch, and then we can move on to the next blank in the Map To line. High efficiency takeoff, 10 inch diameter. My accessories catalog, snap lock items, and find the high efficiency takeoff and select the 10 inch. And then continue mapping the items that are not already mapped and move on to fill in all of the blanks. Once you have all of the blanks filled in, you can click Next Stage at the bottom or the Next Stage in the navigation menu on the left. When I do my next takeoff import, these items will already be mapped for me and I will not have to remap them. At component mapping, it's looking at the variable components on the items that are being imported and allowing you to map them to what you have in your current Duct database. We can see that the 1 inch liner for rectangular has already been mapped previously. However, 2 inch wrap has not been mapped. Simply select the setup and then the available wrap that you would like to map it to, and continue this through all of the other variable components. Be sure and visit the round tab and the catalog tab and do the same. When all the components are mapped, you can then continue to the assembly mapping. The assemblies that were used in the exported job are listed on the left, and you need to map them to your assemblies on the right. I'll select the 10-inch GRD connection, and I believe that was a supply assembly, so I'm going to select my 10-inch supply. 14-inch grill, probably my return, so I'll select my return. And continue on mapping the items until you have all of them mapped. And then go to the next stage, which is scope mapping. The scope mapping stage will allow you to map the scopes that were used on all the items during takeoff. For example, area. The area was filled in with the name of the classroom where the items were taken off. You can multi-select on this screen and map them all to the same item very quickly. All of my areas are selected, and I want to map them to area within my system. And you can see it filled out the map to value. I'm going to now select phase, and finish was used. I cannot multi-select and map phase all at the same time, for the phase has a pick list option. I have to be able to map that to the same one that was used in the exported file. So I'll map finish to finish, and then rough in, phase to rough in. And I'll do the same for the systems. If the items have pick list options, you'll have to do them one at a time to ensure that you get them right, unless you have multiples that are the same. Once you've mapped all of the scope information, continue on to the review and import phase. This screen will show you at the top what file is being imported, how many items, if all of your pressure files were mapped, and your components, and your catalog items, and your assemblies. At this stage, it looks like everything is ready to be mapped. Click the Begin Import button. Once the import is complete, you'll see a message at the bottom letting you know that there were no exceptions. If there were exceptions, it would have them listed out down here at the bottom, such as you mapped an item in the catalog and the diameter that was needed wasn't able to be found. There would be a list of exceptions down here at the bottom for that. You could also open the report when you were done, and it would show you those list of exceptions so that you could go through and make those changes within the imported file. We can hit close now that we're done, and we'll see that the QuoteSoft Offices job was imported, and it's got the one zone, and the plan file that was used was imported as well. You could then open this zone into Takeoff, and you'll see the annotations and the colors that were used and everything that was taken off in the appropriate place. And that is a walkthrough of exporting and importing Takeoff.